Welcome back to our channel Rare Coins Hub. In today's video, we're going to explore something really interesting and exciting. So, if you want to find out what you'll learn by staying with us till the end, make sure to watch the whole video. Stay with us and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. The year is 1973, and the world is in the midst of significant change. In the United States, the Vietnam War has come to an end, Watergate is unraveling, and cultural shifts are reshaping the nation. Meanwhile, in the realm of American currency, one coin stands out, a seemingly humble dime, struck that year, which, at first glance, might not seem remarkable at all. But as we delve deeper into the history and story behind the 1973 US one-dime coin, you'll see how something so small and simple can carry immense value, both in history and in the world of coin collecting. Let's take a step back to understand the significance of the dime in American currency. The dime, worth 10 cents, has been in circulation in the United States since the late 18th century. Introduced by the U.S. Mint in 1796, it has gone through a number of designs, each reflecting the changing ideals of the nation. The dime, over the years, has come to symbolize more than just a denomination. It represents American ideals, culture, and the nation's evolution. Fast forward to 1946, a pivotal year for the dime. President Franklin D. Roosevelt passed away in April 1945, and as a tribute to his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, the U.S. Mint introduced a new dime design. This design, created by artist John R. Sinnock, featured Roosevelt's profile on the obverse, or front, of the coin. To this day, the Roosevelt dime remains one of the most recognizable coins in U.S. history, but the 1973 U.S. dime is a fascinating story on its own. By the early 1970s, the coin had undergone little change in terms of design. Roosevelt's profile still graced the front of the coin, a symbol of resilience and leadership that had lasted nearly 3 decades. On the reverse side, you would find a design consisting of a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. These timeless elements were the cornerstone of the dime's design and continued to appear on every dime minted from 1946 onward. But it's important to note that 1973 was not just another year in the minting of dimes. The coin, like the world around it, was part of a transition. The U.S. Mint was dealing with the effects of inflation and the rising costs of minting, which would eventually lead to changes in the composition of many U.S. coins. The 1973 dime, however, was still minted using the same composition as its predecessors. It had a diameter of 17.91 millimeters and weighed 2.268 grams. It was made from a copper-nickel clad composition, meaning that the core was composed primarily of copper, and the outer layers were made of nickel. This combination gave the dime its shiny, durable appearance, allowing it to withstand the wear and tear of circulation. The 1973 dime was struck at various U.S. Mint facilities, with the primary locations being Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. At the time, the U.S. Mint produced billions of dimes every year, and the 1973 issue was no exception. In total, over 1.5 billion dimes were struck in that year alone. Most of these coins circulated in everyday transactions, from buying a candy bar to paying for bus fare. For the most part, they were simply coins that blended into the background of daily life. However, much like many other coins in history, some of the 1973 dimes would eventually become valuable collector's items due to their rarity and condition. But before we get into the value of these dimes today, let's explore why certain coins, like the 1973 dime, can be worth far more than their face value. It all comes down to a few key factors: rarity, condition, and sometimes, error. Coins like the 1973 dime may seem plentiful at first glance, but the real treasures are those that are rare, uncirculated, or have unique characteristics that set them apart. The value of a coin depends greatly on its condition, and this is where the 1973 dime shines. Most dimes that were used in circulation for years, passed from hand to hand, and exposed to daily wear and tear, would be graded as being in lower conditions. They might be scratched, discolored, or even bent, making them less valuable to collectors. But coins that have been carefully preserved, untouched, and remain in pristine, uncirculated condition, these are the coins that can fetch top dollar at auction. And that's where the 1973 dime has a story to tell. Over the years, the 1973 dime began to attract the attention of serious collectors. Among the millions produced that year, a small percentage of dimes remained in mint condition, and even fewer were kept in original rolls or coin holders, away from the public eye. These well-preserved dimes, free from damage and wear, became highly coveted in the numismatic world. As collectors sought to complete their collections with high-quality examples, the 1973 dime began to gain traction in the market, but it's not just the condition of the coin that can increase its value. Rare errors in the minting process can sometimes turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary one. The U.S. Mint, as careful as it is in the coin production process, is not immune to mistakes. Minting errors happen, and when they do, the result can be a coin with a unique feature that makes it extremely rare. The 1973 dime is no exception. Some of the most sought-after 1973 dimes are those that feature minting errors. For example, there have been reports of dimes from this year that feature unusual die clashes, where the design of the coin appears faint or misaligned due to errors in the die used to strike the coin. In some cases, the mintmark, indicating the mint where the coin was produced, is either missing or incorrectly placed, further adding to the coin's rarity. As we dive deeper into the world of coin collecting, we see that the value of certain 1973 dimes has soared due to these minting errors. Coins with such flaws, while initially overlooked, eventually find their way into the hands of astute collectors who recognize their significance. One such dime, featuring a prominent die error, was recently sold at auction for a staggering $134,000. Yes, you heard that right, $134,000 for a dime that, if it had been left unnoticed, might have been spent at a convenience store for a candy bar. The uniqueness of this particular 1973 dime, combined with its minting error and the pristine condition it was kept in, has made it one of the most valuable dimes in history. This sale serves as a reminder of the extraordinary value that can be hidden within even the most mundane objects. Now, you may be wondering, how does such a small, everyday coin end up commanding such a hefty price tag? It all boils down to the rarity of the coin, its historical significance, and the unique characteristics that make it stand out. The 1973 dime is an excellent example of how something so small can become so valuable. Coins, like the 1973 dime, can tell a story of the past, of a particular era, and of the artistry and craftsmanship that went into their creation. The 1973 dime, for all its simplicity, serves as a reminder that even the most ordinary things can become extraordinary with time. While the majority of dimes from this year will continue to circulate as everyday currency, those that were preserved in mint condition or feature rare minting errors have become treasures in the eyes of collectors. For those who know where to look and what to look for, a simple dime can be much more than just a coin. It can be a piece of American history, a valuable artifact, and a rare gem worth tens of thousands of dollars. As we wrap up this story of the 1973 US 1 dime coin, we leave you with this thought: never underestimate the value of something that may seem insignificant at first glance. Whether it's a dime, a quarter, or any other coin, there's always a chance that it could hold more than just monetary value. In the world of coin collecting, the smallest things can often be the most valuable. And who knows, maybe the next time you reach into your pocket, you'll be holding a treasure worth far more than you ever imagined. It's the year 1986, a time marked by significant events, both in the United States and around the world. The Cold War is winding down, technology is rapidly advancing, and the world is witnessing a global shift in geopolitics. Amidst these monumental changes, there is something seemingly small, yet immensely significant: the 1986 US 1 dime coin. At first glance, the dime, with its modest value of 10 cents, might not seem like much. Yet, as we dive deeper into the history of the 1986 dime, you'll discover how something so small can hold great importance. You see, the 1986 one dime isn't just a coin, it is a piece of American history, a symbol of an era, and, as you'll see later, it's also a valuable collector's item that has taken on incredible worth over the years. Let's step back a bit in time and reflect on how we got to the 1986 dime. The story begins in 1796, the very first year the U.S. Mint produced dimes. The early design of the dime featured Lady Liberty in a draped bust, a reflection of the nation's early days. As time went on, the dime underwent various changes, with many different representations of Lady Liberty gracing the front of the coin. But the most significant change came in 1946, following the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. In honor of Roosevelt's leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, the U.S. Mint unveiled a new dime design in 1946, one that featured Roosevelt's portrait on the obverse side. This design, created by artist John R. Sinnock, would become one of the longest-standing coin designs in U.S. history, appearing on dimes for decades. Roosevelt's profile, facing left, became an iconic symbol on the U.S. dime, and it remains there to this day. The reverse side of the 1986 dime, like all dimes struck since 1946, features a design that was equally rich in symbolism. On the back of the coin, you'll find a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, each of which represents the core values of America: liberty, peace, and strength. These symbols have been a mainstay of the dime's design, encapsulating the spirit of the nation. The torch represents the light of freedom, the olive branch signifies peace, and the oak branch stands for strength and endurance. Now, let's focus on the 1986 version of this coin. Minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, the 1986 dime was produced in large numbers to keep up with the demands of a rapidly growing economy. The U.S. Mint struck billions of dimes in 1986, just as it had in previous years, and like most coins, the dimes from this year were struck with the same standard size and composition. The 1986 dime had a diameter of 17.91 millimeters and weighed 2.268 grams, with a composition of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. This copper-nickel clad coin had a shiny, durable finish that made it easy to circulate, resistant to corrosion, and perfect for everyday transactions. At first glance, the 1986 dime might seem just like any other dime, passing through transactions from pocket to cash register, and perhaps never giving much thought. However, it is the world of coin collecting that brings us to the truly exciting part of the story: the incredible value of certain 1986 dimes today. While millions of dimes were produced in 1986, a few rare versions of the coin have become highly sought after in the world of numismatics. It all comes down to a few key factors that make certain coins stand out: rarity, condition, and sometimes, minting errors. These are the key elements that turn an ordinary dime into a valuable treasure. Most of the 1986 dimes were circulated and spent as everyday currency, gradually losing their value as they became worn and damaged from use. However, some of these dimes, thanks to being preserved in perfect condition, have become rare finds. Uncirculated dimes, those that have never been in circulation and have been kept in pristine condition since they were first minted, are far less common than those that have been passed around, used in daily transactions, and subject to the wear and tear of everyday life. The condition of a coin is often measured using a grading system. The highest grade a coin can receive is MS-70, which signifies a coin in perfect, unblemished condition. A dime that has been carefully preserved in its original, mint state condition can fetch a much higher price than one that has been circulated. Over the years, the 1986 dime that has remained in this immaculate condition has become a prized item among collectors, but the real excitement for coin collectors often lies in the world of error coins. You see, the U.S. Mint is an impressive operation, but even the best mints can occasionally make mistakes. And when those mistakes happen, they can create coins with errors that are incredibly rare, and incredibly valuable. Minting errors might include misprints, off-center strikes, missing mint marks, or other unusual anomalies that make the coin unique. The 1986 dime is no exception. Over the years, there have been reports of 1986 dimes with unusual errors that set them apart from the typical issue. Some of these dimes feature missing or misplaced mint marks, where the D, indicating the Denver Mint, or the S, for the San Francisco Mint, appears in the wrong location, or even not at all. These kinds of errors, while rare, have captured the attention of collectors and caused the value of such dimes to skyrocket. Another key factor contributing to the value of these dimes is the popularity of certain types of coins in the numismatic community. The 1986 dime, thanks to its consistent design and the historical significance of Roosevelt's portrait, has long been a popular choice among collectors. In addition to that, coins from the mid-1980s, an era that saw some economic shifts and political changes, have also grown in interest due to their place in American history. As more and more collectors began to focus on the 1986 dime, the demand for specific error versions, mint state versions, and pristine examples began to increase. One of the most sought-after versions is the 1986 dime that, due to a minting oversight, was struck in an extremely limited quantity with certain errors. This rarity has caused certain 1986 dimes to climb in value. So, how much can these rare dimes be worth today? Well, for a mint condition 1986 dime without any minting errors, the value is modest, just the standard 10 cents. However, when you add in the factors of rarity, pristine condition, and potential errors, the value can increase significantly. One of the most exceptional 1986 dimes, an example of a coin with a remarkable minting error, recently sold for an astounding $122,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $122,000 for a single dime. This coin, which featured a combination of factors that made it incredibly rare, was able to fetch such a high price because it met the criteria of collector demand, rarity, and historical significance. The sale of this coin serves as a testament to the incredible value that some of these seemingly ordinary dimes can have when they are part of a limited and rare group. So, what made this particular 1986 dime so valuable? It was a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and the right collector finding it at just the right time. The story of this coin is a reminder of the remarkable potential of the numismatic world. Coins that might seem insignificant to the untrained eye can be worth far more than their face value, and the right coin can become a treasure worth thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of dollars. As we wrap up our story about the 1986 US 1 dime coin, we're reminded that history and value can be hidden in the most unexpected places. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just a casual observer, it's always worth taking a second look at the coins you come across. You never know when you might be holding a rare treasure worth far more than you ever imagined. The year is 1991. The world is witnessing a transformative era. The Cold War is winding down, technology is evolving, and a new sense of optimism is spreading across the United States. It's a time when the future seems filled with promise and innovation, but in the midst of this fast-paced world, something small yet significant is circulating quietly in pockets and cash registers, the 1991 US 1 dime coin. At first glance, the dime, worth just 10 cents, may seem insignificant. It's small, it's easy to overlook, and it's used in everyday transactions. But this unassuming coin holds a deep history and a story that goes beyond its value as mere currency. The 1991 dime, like many coins, serves as a snapshot of an era, a time capsule that connects the present to the past, and in some cases, it can even be worth far more than its face value. Let's begin by stepping back to understand the history of the dime in the United States. The dime was first introduced in 1796, during the early days of the U.S. Mint. Over the years, the design of the dime has evolved to reflect the changing ideals and values of the nation. But one of the most significant and enduring designs came in 1946, just after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. In recognition of Roosevelt's leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, the U.S. Mint introduced a new dime design, one that would feature his profile on the obverse, or front, of the coin. This design, created by artist John R. Sinnock, would remain unchanged for decades. Roosevelt's portrait, facing left, became an enduring symbol on the dime, serving as a tribute to the president's legacy and his impact on the country. The reverse of the coin, featuring a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, would continue to represent the principles of liberty, peace, and strength. These timeless symbols would remain the backbone of the dime's design for years to come, including on the 1991 version. By 1991, the Roosevelt dime had been a fixture in American currency for nearly half a century. But even though the design had remained largely unchanged, the U.S. Mint continued to produce billions of these dimes each year, with 1991 being no exception. In fact, over 1.5 billion dimes were minted that year alone, reflecting the demand for these small but mighty coins that played a crucial role in everyday transactions. The 1991 dime, like all dimes struck during this era, was made from a copper-nickel-clad composition. This meant that the coin had a core of pure copper, with a layer of nickel on the outside, giving it the familiar shiny appearance. The coin had a diameter of 17.91 millimeters and weighed 2.268 grams. These specifications remained consistent across most dimes produced during the second half of the 20th century, maintaining a uniformity that made the dime instantly recognizable in the hands of Americans. At first glance, the 1991 dime seems like just another everyday coin, circulating widely and used in everything from vending machines to paying for small items at the store. But hidden beneath the surface of this dime is a fascinating story of its minting, its design, and its eventual rise in value. Why, you might ask, does a coin like the 1991 dime have any significant value at all? It's simple: rarity, condition, and the quest of collectors to find the most unique examples. Most of the 1991 dimes produced by the U.S. Mint were used in everyday transactions, passed from hand to hand, and subjected to the wear and tear of regular use. But some of these coins, through luck or careful preservation, have survived in near-perfect or pristine condition. The condition of a coin plays a crucial role in its value. Coins that have been kept in mint state, free from the scuffs, scratches, and discoloration of regular circulation, are much more valuable to collectors than those that have been worn down. In fact, a coin's condition is often graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin that shows no signs of wear. Coins in high grades, such as MS-65 or MS-70, are the most sought after by collectors, as they are the rarest and most desirable examples. While most 1991 dimes are in average condition, those that have been kept in mint state, uncirculated since they were struck, are much rarer, and therefore more valuable. But there's another key factor that can make the 1991 dime even more intriguing to collectors: errors. Minting errors are a common occurrence at the U.S. Mint, and when they happen, the result can be a coin with unique characteristics that are highly sought after in the world of numismatics. These errors can range from minor issues, such as off-center strikes, to more noticeable flaws like missing or misaligned designs. The 1991 dime is no exception, with certain error coins having caught the attention of collectors and pushing their value far beyond what one might expect from a standard dime. For example, one of the most notable types of error in the 1991 dime is the double die obverse error. In these coins, the minting process led to a slight duplication of the design, making parts of the coin appear to be double-struck. This error creates a fascinating visual effect, with parts of Roosevelt's portrait appearing to be doubled or misaligned. While these errors are rare, they are highly prized by collectors, and when they appear on a 1991 dime, they can fetch impressive prices at auction. Another error that has caught the attention of collectors is the clipped planchet error. This occurs when the metal blank that is struck to create the coin is improperly cut, resulting in a piece of the coin being missing or clipped off during the minting process. These coins have an irregular shape, making them highly unusual and extremely rare. The 1991 dime with a clipped planchet error is a treasure to collectors who specialize in error coins, and it has been known to fetch significant prices when sold in the right market. As the years have gone by, the 1991 dime has become more than just a piece of everyday currency. It has become a collector's item, sought after for its historical significance, its unique design, and the potential for hidden treasures within the batch of coins minted that year. Collectors scour coin shops, online marketplaces, and auction houses, hoping to find the rarest and most valuable examples. And, much to their delight, some of the 1991 dimes have indeed turned out to be worth far more than their face value. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the big reveal. How much is a 1991 US 1 dime worth today? Well, it depends on the condition, the rarity, and, most importantly, any minting errors that may have occurred. While a standard 1991 dime in average circulated condition is worth, of course, just 10 cents, things change dramatically for the rare examples. A pristine, uncirculated 1991 dime can command anywhere from $50 to $200, depending on its grade and condition. But the true jackpot lies in the error coins. One particular 1991 dime with a rare minting error recently sold for an eye-popping $114,000. Yes, you heard that right, $114,000 for a single dime. This particular coin, which featured a rare double die obverse error, became the subject of fierce bidding at an auction, with collectors vying for the chance to own a piece of numismatic history. The combination of rarity, condition, and the unique error made this 1991 dime incredibly valuable, and it serves as a reminder of just how much certain coins can be worth when they possess those rare qualities that collectors are willing to pay top dollar for. So, what does this mean for you, the viewer? The 1991 US 1 dime coin, like so many other coins in history, tells a fascinating story of how something small can hold incredible value. Whether you're an avid coin collector or someone just getting started, the 1991 dime is a great example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can become extraordinary over time. The key is to keep an eye out for those rare, uncirculated examples, as well as the elusive minting errors that can transform an average dime into a treasure worth thousands, or even hundreds of thousands, of dollars. As we conclude our journey through the world of the 1991 dime, one thing is clear. Coins, no matter how small, can hold immense value. The story of the 1991 dime is a testament to the magic of numismatics, the ability to uncover hidden treasures and discover history in the most unexpected places. So, next time you reach into your pocket, take a moment to examine the coins you hold. You never know when you might be holding a rare gem worth far more than you ever imagined. The year is 1999. The world is at the edge of a new millennium, and the excitement of what's to come is palpable. People are filled with anticipation and wonder about what the future will hold, new technologies, new possibilities, and new ways of connecting with the world. It's a moment in history when the world feels both full of change and rich in continuity. And yet, amidst this excitement and uncertainty, there is something seemingly small, unassuming, and often overlooked, something that quietly circulates through the pockets and hands of millions of Americans. The 1999 US 1 dime coin. It might seem odd to focus on such a tiny coin. After all, it's only worth 10 cents. But as you'll soon learn, the 1999 1 dime is far more than just a piece of currency. It carries a rich history, holds significant value for collectors, and even today, some examples are worth far more than just 10 cents. So, let's take a closer look at this seemingly ordinary coin, and by the end, you might just be amazed at its fascinating story, and its impressive value. To understand the 1999 dime, we first need to look back at the history of the dime in the United States. The U.S. Mint began producing dimes in 1796, the same year the nation was still very young. Over the years, the design of the dime has evolved, reflecting the changing political, cultural, and economic landscapes of the United States. But it was in 1946, after the passing of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, that the design of the dime would be forever altered to honor Roosevelt's leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. The U.S. Mint introduced a new dime design in 1946, one that would feature Roosevelt's profile on the obverse, or front, side of the coin. This design, created by artist John R. Sinnock, would go on to become one of the longest-standing coin designs in U.S. history. Roosevelt's portrait, facing left, would be featured on every dime minted for decades to come, including, of course, on the 1999 one dime. The reverse side of the coin, as designed in 1946, features a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbols representing liberty, peace, and strength. These elements have remained the cornerstone of the dime's design since the mid-20th century, reflecting timeless American values. The simplicity and elegance of the design made the dime not just a form of currency, but a symbol of the nation's ideals. Now, fast forward to 1999. By this time, the Roosevelt dime had been in circulation for over 50 years, and the design had become an iconic representation of American currency. The 1999 one dime coin was struck in massive numbers, with billions of dimes minted in both Philadelphia and Denver. It was a time when the U.S. economy was growing rapidly, and the demand for coins like the dime was ever present. The dimes produced that year were made from a copper-nickel clad composition, an alloy of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. These coins had a diameter of 17.91 millimeters and weighed 2.268 grams, specifications that were consistent with other dimes minted in the latter half of the 20th century. On the surface, the 1999 dime may seem like just another typical coin in a long history of dimes. But as we delve deeper into the world of coin collecting and numismatics, you'll start to understand why the 1999 dime is much more than just a face value of 10 cents. In the world of rare coins, it's the little details that matter most, details that can turn an ordinary dime into a highly sought-after collector's item. The first factor in determining a coin's value is, of course, its condition. Over time, coins that have been in circulation tend to show signs of wear. The more a coin has been handled, the more likely it is to be scuffed, scratched, or worn down. But there are also coins that, for various reasons, have been kept in near-perfect condition. These coins, often referred to as uncirculated or mint-state coins, are much rarer than their circulated counterparts, and they can be worth significantly more. When we talk about a mint-state coin, we're referring to a coin that has been preserved in its original, uncirculated state since it was first struck by the U.S. Mint. These coins are free from any wear or damage and have retained their original shine and detail. Because mint-state coins are rarer and harder to find, they are generally more valuable than coins that have been used in everyday transactions. This is true for the 1999 dime as well. While most of the dimes minted that year were circulated, a select few were kept in pristine condition, making them much more valuable to collectors. But there's more to the story than just uncirculated coins. The world of coin collecting is also full of rare and valuable errors. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the coin-making process, whether it's a misstrike, a misaligned die, or some other anomaly. These errors can lead to coins with unique characteristics that make them highly desirable to collectors. One of the most common types of minting errors is the off-center strike. This occurs when the blank coin, called a planchet, is not properly aligned in the press during the minting process. As a result, part of the design may be missing, or the design may be shifted to one side of the coin. These coins are rare and can fetch high prices due to their unusual appearance. There have been reports of 1999 dimes with off-center strikes, and these coins have become highly sought after by collectors. Another type of error that collectors look for is the double die error. This occurs when the design is unintentionally struck twice on the coin, causing certain parts of the design to appear doubled. This can lead to a variety of visual effects, including doubled text or images, and makes the coin particularly unique. The 1999 dime is no stranger to this type of error, and when a coin with this anomaly is found, it can greatly increase its value. One of the most exciting aspects of collecting coins is the thrill of finding one of these rare errors. Many collectors dedicate their time to searching through rolls of coins, hoping to find something unusual. And while it's rare to find an error coin, when it happens, it can be a life-changing event. That's part of what makes the 1999 dime so fascinating to collectors. The chance to find a coin with an error, whether it's a double die or an off-center strike, makes the search for these coins a rewarding experience. Now, let's talk about the value of the 1999 one dime. As mentioned earlier, a typical 1999 dime in circulated condition is worth just 10 cents. But when you start talking about mint state coins and rare error coins, the value can skyrocket. A pristine, uncirculated 1999 dime could be worth anywhere from $50 to $200, depending on its condition and rarity. However, when it comes to rare error coins, the value can reach even greater heights. One particular 1999 dime with a notable error, a double die obverse, recently sold for an astonishing $104,000. Yes, that's correct, $104,000 for a single dime. This particular coin, which featured a significant minting error that caused the design to appear doubled, attracted intense interest from collectors and ultimately fetched a price that exceeded even the highest expectations. The combination of rarity, condition, and error made this coin a true treasure, and it serves as a perfect example of how a simple dime can hold incredible value when it possesses the right characteristics. So, what does this mean for you? If you happen to come across a 1999 dime, it might just be worth taking a closer look. While most of the dimes minted that year are of little value, there's always the possibility that you could have one that's in pristine condition or has a rare minting error. And if you do, you could be holding on to a piece of history that's worth far more than its face value. The story of the 1999 US 1 dime coin is a perfect example of how something as small as a 10-cent coin can have far-reaching implications. Whether it's a perfectly preserved coin or one with a rare error, the 1999 dime reminds us that value is not always about the price tag, it's about the story behind the coin, the rarity of its characteristics, and the history it carries. So, next time you're handling your loose change, take a moment to inspect the dimes in your possession. You never know when you might find a rare and valuable treasure, one that could be worth thousands of dollars. After all, the next time you find yourself with a 1999 dime in your hand, it just might be the key to unlocking a fortune. In the year 2004, the world was in the midst of a technological revolution. The internet had already become a powerful force in everyday life, and mobile phones were becoming more advanced with every passing year. The 21st century was still in its early stages, and everything seemed to be moving faster and faster. But among all this change, one thing remained constant: the coins that were used in daily transactions. Among these coins was the 2004 US 1 dime, a small yet significant piece of American currency that has a story all its own. At first glance, the 2004 dime might seem like just another modern coin. After all, it carries the same design that had been in place for decades, the profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse, and a simple, elegant reverse featuring a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. It's easy to overlook the significance of a single dime when it's so small and so commonly seen. But this coin, much like every other coin, has its own history, its own journey, and its own place in the world of collectors. Let's start by looking at the history of the dime and how it came to feature Roosevelt's image. The dime itself was first introduced in 1796, during the early years of the United States. At that time, the nation was still finding its footing, and coinage played an essential role in daily life. Over the years, the design of the dime evolved, changing to reflect the times and the values of the American people. It wasn't until 1946, after the passing of Franklin D. Roosevelt, that the modern design of the dime as we know it was introduced. Roosevelt, who had led the country through the Great Depression and World War II, was a symbol of strength and resilience, and it was fitting that his image would be immortalized on the dime. The design of the dime, created by artist John R. Sinnock, features Roosevelt in profile, facing left. The reverse of the coin depicts a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, which represent liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. These elements have remained largely unchanged for decades, making the Roosevelt dime one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. Now, let's talk about the specific coin we're focusing on today, the 2004 $1 dime. This coin was minted during the presidency of George W. Bush, in a year when the country was adjusting to the post-9/11 world and dealing with the economic and geopolitical challenges of the time. In terms of its composition, the 2004 dime was made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, consisting of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. It weighed 2.268 grams and had a diameter of 17.91 millimeters, maintaining the same size and weight as the dimes produced in previous decades. The 2004 dime was minted in large quantities, with billions of these coins produced to meet the demand for currency. The U.S. Mint struck the coin in both Philadelphia and Denver, and it circulated widely throughout the country. Most of the 2004 dimes that were produced were used in everyday transactions, passing through countless hands and wallets, but over time, some of these dimes would find their way into the hands of collectors. For most people, the 2004 dime is a coin that is easily overlooked. It's not particularly rare, and it doesn't have the same kind of notoriety that some other coins do. But that's the thing about coin collecting: sometimes, the most ordinary coins can hold incredible value if they are rare, unique, or in exceptional condition. The value of a coin is determined by a variety of factors, with the most important being its rarity and condition. Coins that are in mint condition, free from scratches, marks, or signs of wear, are far more valuable than those that have been in circulation for years. This is especially true when the coin is a modern one, like the 2004 dime, which has been produced in large quantities. The rarest and most valuable examples are those that have been kept in pristine condition, either by being stored in coin collections or by being specially preserved right after minting. But condition is not the only factor that can affect the value of a coin. Minting errors can also play a huge role. A minting error occurs when something goes wrong during the production process, resulting in a coin that is unique or flawed in some way. These errors can make a coin significantly more valuable, as collectors are always on the lookout for rare and unusual examples. In the case of the 2004 dime, there have been reports of a few minting errors that have made certain coins particularly sought after. One of the most notable errors that can be found on a 2004 dime is the double die error. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, causing the design to appear doubled. This can happen on the obverse or the reverse of the coin, resulting in a subtle but noticeable duplication of the images or text. For collectors, a double die error is a prized find, and coins with this flaw can fetch much higher prices than their error-free counterparts. Some 2004 dimes with double die errors have been sold for hundreds of dollars, and in certain cases, even more. Another error that collectors keep an eye out for is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin blank is not properly aligned in the press, causing part of the design to be struck off-center. This can result in a coin that is visually striking, with part of the image missing or shifted to one side. These off-center dimes are rare and can be worth significant amounts to collectors who appreciate the uniqueness of such errors. So, what about the value of the 2004 dime in general? Most 2004 dimes in circulation today are worth their face value of 10 cents. But as we've seen, there are exceptions. Coins that are in mint condition, or those that have been well preserved, can command higher prices. And when you add the potential for minting errors, the value of a 2004 dime can increase dramatically. For example, a 2004 dime with a significant double die error has been known to fetch upwards of $500, and in rare cases, even more. But there's a particular 2004 dime that stands out as an example of how much a seemingly ordinary coin can be worth. One 2004 dime, which had a particularly rare and dramatic double die error, recently sold for an incredible $92,000. This coin, with its doubled design and flawless condition, became a collector's dream, and its sale price reflects the immense value that can be found in rare coins. It's a stunning reminder that the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. A simple dime, worth just 10 cents in its ordinary state, can turn into a valuable treasure if it possesses the right qualities, whether it's perfect condition, a rare minting error, or simply being part of a historic series. For collectors, finding a rare coin like this is the ultimate thrill, and it serves as a reminder that the world of numismatics is both fascinating and full of potential rewards. If you happen to come across a 2004 dime in your own pocket change, it might be worth taking a closer look. While most of the dimes from that year won't be worth more than their face value, there's always the possibility that you're holding onto something rare. A perfect, mint-condition coin or a dime with a minting error could be worth far more than just 10 cents. After all, you never know when you might discover the next great numismatic treasure.